The best bit was the bull. We could not believe when that bull came out. It was just utterly astonishing.
The Commonwealth Games in itself didn't make any difference. I mean, people from outside of the city seemed to think it was great, whereas people from around here saw it as a daily impediment.
I did hear of a number of people that attempted to be volunteers, actually, applied to be volunteers, but didn't get accepted. And I certainly got the impression that the volunteers were coming from quite a wide, sort of geographical area.
I didn't come across anybody talking about the game or saying, have you been to see anything?
We had a train station. It worked. It didn't have a lift, but it worked. Next to the train station we had a bus station. Great. And next to the bus station we had a shopping centre. Everything worked fine, no problems. Commonwealth Games came along, they closed the bus station down. So the buses are now stopping on the main road instead of in the bus station. The train station wasn't finished. It still isn't finished. There is no taxi rank. So if you want a taxi to the station, there's nowhere for the taxi to stop. There were great expectations which weren't fulfilled. It was not thought out properly. And even though, with the public meetings, etc., people were telling them that this would not work, they still insisted on going ahead and getting it done. It just seemed like we know best, and of course they don't.
The Athletes' Village wasn't the Athletes' Village, because had it been the Athletes' Village, then there might have been more impact in terms of the local economy during the games itself. Obviously people are now, concerned about, well, who is actually going to live in the Athletes' Village, or what was going to be the Athletes' Village, who is going to live in the flats that have been built. In terms of the actual cultural side of things, I mean, we did get some support. We had a family fun day at the end of July, just before the game started, and that was supported by Celebrating Communities.
If you talk to local people, they just think it's the council doing stuff, or it's free family activities. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Commonwealth Games.
There was no way of knowing where the money came from. Most people just assumed it came from the person or the people who were organising that day.
We interviewed a range of people, and also we interviewed some of our own volunteers and associates who have Commonwealth connections. So it was really about looking at, really acknowledging the fact that people in this area have a lot of Commonwealth connections. We also have had some funding to do a heritage trail, which actually is still ongoing.
And they did community cooking as part of the games. He looked at Ghanaian food, you looked at Nigerian food, and they actually gave a talk and they cooked in front of you. That went down really well because that was local people and people knew them.
I think part of it is about trying to put Birchfield on the map, because we still have this issue that people say, well, where is Birchfield?
And there's talk about community rooms, there's talk about community gyms, talking about community facilities, but for people who live here, that's another world over there.
It's difficult to see what the actual impact is going to be for the majority of residents living in the Birchfield area. I mean, there's a new school, so that there's the prospect that children from this area might have the option of attending that school. You've got all these new developments that are taking place opposite One Stop on the other side in Perry Bar. But how is that going to impact people who actually live in the Birchfield area? It's difficult to see how.